Beautiful as they are, these are not normally the sounds you might associate with London's Natural History Museum. But today's Nature Live talk has transported us to the very hotspot of biodiversity, to the home of the orangutan and to the wonders of the Bornean rainforest. The intrepid Dan Carpenter, one of the museum's rainforest researchers, talks to iScience about his recent escapade to Borneo. Give me a picture about what your research was about. Why were you there? What did you hope to achieve?
So my research is primarily focused on soil biodiversity. It's understanding what structures biodiversity in soils, why you find species where you find them, and what those organisms are doing in soils. Their functional roles and why they're important in a wider context. The Borneo work is an extension of stuff we've been doing in the New Forest here in the UK, understanding soil biodiversity across a landscape. Specifically, it's looking at two things in Borneo. One is what impact logging has on soil biodiversity, and understanding the environmental factors that logging creates, if you like, and what those are and how that affects the diversity of things that live in soil. And secondly, it's looking at two comparable fragments of primary rainforest, old growth rainforest, to look at biodiversity turnover in the species between those two fragments for conservation purposes, so we can understand how many forest fragments are necessary to conserve biodiversity in a tropical rainforest.
So why Borneo? Why not, rainforests all over the world, Brazil, Indonesia? Why have you chosen Borneo, and why are you choosing to do it now?
Sabah in particular, that's part of Malaysian Borneo, is somewhere that the museum has a long history of doing research in. We already have a lot of data from, in particular, Darwin Valley, which is one of the places we went to, and Malaya, one of the other sites. So it makes sense to go somewhere that colleagues have already been before, and so you have like a starting point to work from. Borneo is probably one of the biodiversity hotspots in the world as well. It has a huge diversity, particularly for insects and other invertebrates, so it's a sensible place to go. And it has really good protected reserves that we can go and work in, with good facilities for doing research.
A bit more of a personal question about your experience in Borneo. Did you have any of those moments where you're like, wow, this is amazing, nothing compares to this?
I think it was sort of a gradual realisation, really. I saw an orangutan literally the first day we got up the first morning to go and do some work, and there one was in a tree around the corner from where we're having breakfast. You kind of go, oh yeah, I'm not in the UK anymore, despite the fact sometimes when you're doing your work, the things you're seeing are very similar to the stuff you might be digging up in a hole in the middle of a woodland here. So yeah, those little signals will make you remember that you're not where you thought you were.